And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Wild with Terry and Friends, Baseball Edition. I'm Terry. That's Occupancy. And I picked out 5 baseball games that we're going to go over before our last pitch. And then the best bet segment, as always. We have best bets from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people, including me and Occupancy. So we'll definitely go over those at the end. Jump right in the first game here, starting at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The Dodgers minus 180 are headed to Cincinnati plus 160. Total of 9.5 in this one. And actually, I did want to bring up the poll first. Totally forgot that. So I asked a poll earlier today on the Getting Wild with Terry and Friends Twitter account. Which pitcher today will allow the most runs? Eric Fetty from Washington against Baltimore. Got 20%. Same with Chichi Gonzalez from Milwaukee against the Cardinals. 26.7% say Aaron Savali facing Minnesota. And then Jose Urquidy was the 33.3%. Was chosen to be the worst pitcher on the slate today to give up the most runs. Obviously, small sample size there, but if you're not following the Getting Wild with Terry and Friends Twitter account, make sure to follow. I'm going to be trying to do polls every day where we can ask certain questions like that one. We can get people's thoughts. We'll see what the comments here. Cubano, Blue Jays get smoked today. We will not be going over that game, but I'm sure we'll get to it in last pitch. But it wasn't one of the 5 games that I chose. And yes, sir, Mets team total over the move. I am on Mets team total over, and we'll get to that game in a bit. Dodgers and Cincinnati here. Tony Gonsolin on the mound for the Dodgers. What can be said? He's 8-0 on the year with a 1.42 ERA. In his last 3 games, he's pitched 18.1 innings, so basically 6 innings per game. In those 18.1 innings, he's allowed 6 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, and 16 strikeouts. So he is just absolutely pitched amazing. He couldn't ask for anything better. Tyler Mahle on the other side, he's 2-5 in the year with a 4.46 ERA. In his last 3 games, he's gone 21 innings, 15 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, and 28 strikeouts. So Tyler Mahle has pitched really, really well his last 3 games. However, 2 of those games were against Arizona, and 1 of them was against Washington. So you have to take that into consideration. Mahle also on the year, he's 0-3 in 8 games at home with a 5.01 ERA. He's pitched much better on the road than at home. And now he has the Los Angeles Dodgers coming in here with their best pitcher right now, and Tony Gonsolin. And it's a spot that I like for the Dodgers. I'm on the Dodgers minus 1.5. And then I have the Dodgers involved in all 3 of my parlays that I'll go over at the end. But I'm backing Gonsolin here and fading Tyler Mahle and the Reds. I think the Dodgers will take it to them here. Occupancy, Dodgers and Reds. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, looking both sides, I was trying to identify which team I thought had a pitching advantage. And though I've had some bets with Mahle and the Reds, this seems like Tony Gonsolin is pitching a different type of game this year. When he's getting his starts, the team's doing well, and the Dodgers have the ability to shut down other teams. In their last 4 games, 3 out of the 4, they held their opponents to 2 or less. So when I see a Reds team who has been streaky, they've been on the other end of that spectrum and have let up 6, 7, 5, and 7 in their last 4. So to me, streaky wagons or whatever, just not a dog I'm looking to back tonight. So I'm going to be on the Dodgers side. Minus 180, I don't think is a terrible price for them with Gonsolin. I mean, people were even saying beginning of the year with Summers minus 200, minus 300 prices, which we're not seeing tonight. So I'm going to be on the Dodgers money line, pairing it up with another couple teams I like on the slate, um, but also first five. So we all know what's been happening with the Dodgers bullpen, and I think I saw Kimbrel on the wrong side of the column when I was looking earlier. So gonna back the Dodgers on full game in first five. I like them there tonight.
All right, I like it. Well, we'll move on to the second game that I chose here. The San Francisco Giants plus 155 are in Atlanta minus 175, a total of 9 in this one. Anthony DeSclafani for the Giants, 0-1 in the year with a 6.08 ERA. He's been injured since April 21st and a loss to the New York Mets. So he hasn't pitched for a while. In his career against Atlanta, he's 1-4 in 7 games, including 2 losses last year. Both starts he faced against Atlanta, he lost last year. For the Braves, Spencer Strider, 3-2 in the year with a 2.45 ERA. In his last 3 games, he's 2-0. He's given up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 8 walks, and had 24 strikeouts in those 3 games. But those 3 games were against Washington, Pittsburgh, and Colorado. So obviously the Giants are a step up from those 3 teams. But I like the Braves here. They're a hot team. The Giants seem to be really hot and then really cold. And they were just on their hot streak, and now they've lost 3 in a row. And I think they're about to head here on a cold streak. So I like the Braves to keep going. I'm on their first 5 minus a half at minus 120. And they're also involved in my parlays that'll go over at the end. Occupancy, Giants and Braves. What do you think from this one?
Yeah, ultimately, Terry, I lean in the same direction as you. Strider has been on my radar as a bet on pitcher. I cashed one of those fantasy app parlays with him and a strikeout prop. So I really like that side. She was just looking at what the Braves have done in the last couple of series. They just took one from the Giants. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. They swept the Nationals, swept Pittsburgh, swept Oakland in a 2-game series. So this was like their first little kind of weekend that didn't go their way type of thing. So with that said, I ended up laying off actually. I would be putting some player props down for Strider and potentially some hitters props for the Braves as well. I didn't get to the prop market yet, but that is where I would go with this game. I think it's an expensive price for Strider, which is kind of cool to see. Like he's on the younger side of things, and it is nice that he's getting that respect. He's good. He's got some stuff. He's got an arsenal of pitches. Anyway, I ended up laying off, but I would be looking to back the Braves in the first 5.
All right. Yeah, a good thing you mentioned player props. Yesterday, I was on a parlay. Dansby Swanson to get a hit, Arcia to get a hit, and Michael Harris to get a hit. Harris and Swanson both had hits. Arcia didn't, and it was at the bottom of the 9th, I believe. And of course, Arcia is the one that hits the game-winning single, which catch me that parlay. So if you're looking for 3 Braves players, Swanson, Arcia, and Harris. Arcia and Harris are at the bottom of the lineup, but that doesn't matter. They've both been just smashing the ball, as well as Dansby Swanson. So if you're looking for 3 Braves players, those 3 are my kind of go-tos right now when it comes to the Braves. We'll go on to the next one. Guardians plus 145 are in Minnesota facing the Twins minus 165. A total of 9 in this one. The Cleveland Guardians are hot right now. They're on a bit of a winning streak here. They just went and won some games against the Dodgers and are playing well. However, Aaron Savali, he's been hurt for the last month. But in his last start against Detroit, he went 6.1 innings, giving up 3 hits, 1 earned run, a great game against Detroit. I did some deep research in this game. Aaron Savali is actually 7-0 in 8 career games against Detroit. So Detroit's been a team that he's easily handled. And that kind of explains his last start and why he did so well against Detroit. But if you look at his previous 4 starts to that, he allowed 6+ hits in all 4 games. And he allowed 6 earned runs 3 times, 4 earned runs in the other game. He's 1-4 with a 4.28 ERA in 7 career games against Minnesota. And in his last game against Minnesota, in Minnesota, he went 4.2 innings and allowed 7 hits and 6 earned runs. So he has not had success against his Twins team. He's not been really pitching very well. He is coming off a good start, but that's against a team he dominates in Detroit. And really, I think most pitchers in baseball should be able to have a good game against Detroit. So not really reading too much into that. I like the Twins first 5 minus a half. And I also like the Twins team total over 4.5. And I also have them in my parlay, one of my parlays that'll go over at the end. I like the Twins here, a kind of a fade of Savali. More interested in their team total over, but 100% I want to make sure Savali is confirmed before I bet it. So I bet the first 5, but I haven't bet the team total over yet. Waiting to see 100% that Savali is confirmed. What do you think?
Terry. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
Cleveland, ultimately, I usually bet on them when it's Bieber, McKenzie, and Jose Ramirez doesn't ever hurt thumb. Are typically the spots I like to back the Guardians in. None of those are. Not sure about happening tonight. I'm just double checking on Ramirez. It says he's probable for tonight. It's still not quite enough for me to try to back an underdog at home against Minnesota. So it wasn't going to happen tonight for them for at least the way I see it, and plus all the reasons you're saying about Savali. And I know Ryan is supposed to be a pretty highly touted prospect, and I'd be looking only towards that side for tonight. But interestingly enough, like once Bieber and those other guys get like some starts, I think I'm going to look to back Cleveland. Just not here, not in this spot. Coming off a series sweep of the Dodgers. I believe. Do I have that wrong, Terry? Like,
no, the Dodgers won the middle game.
Did okay?
2-1.
Yeah, right. So almost a big win for them. Yeah. So yeah, looking maybe for them to even not get swept by the Twins. So basically pick one of the sides at least for this series for them, but not tonight. So I'd be just looking towards the Twins. Don't have a whole lot on player props in this game, or like any first 5 or first 3s or totals. I would just be looking to back the Twins in the first 5.
All right. Yeah, I totally focused on Savali, and I didn't really give much of an opinion here on Joe Ryan. He is coming off a loss in Seattle. He allowed 5 hits, 4 earned runs, and 4.2 innings. It's kind of a bad game, but he won his 2 previous games, including a game at home against his Cleveland Guardians team, where he went 6 innings and allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. So, yeah, I really like the Twins here in this spot to kind of put this hot Cleveland Guardians team on hold for a game at least. But we'll jump into the next one. The Mets plus 115 are in Houston minus 135, total of 9. In this one here, Trevor Williams for the Mets hasn't pitched a whole lot, but in the last 5 games he has appeared in, he hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs. His worst appearance was against the Dodgers, where he went 5 innings and gave up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. So he's pitched pretty well. On the other side, Jose Urquidy has allowed 29 hits in his last 4 games, 15 earned runs in those 4 games. And he's also allowed 3+ runs in 5 of his last 6 games. So he is allowing runs right now. I get it, Houston's at home, but I think there's a pitching advantage, slight pitching advantage. Trevor Williams may not go very long. He may only go 2 innings, 3 innings, 4 innings. I guess we'll have to see, but it's more of a fade against Jose Urquidy. The fact that the Mets are a very good team, and I like them here at plus money. I have the Mets team total over 3.5 at minus 135, and also the Mets money line at plus 115. I think they're a good underdog tonight against this Houston Astros team. Occupancy, Mets and Astros. What do you think here?
Oh, Terry, I ended up on the other side of this one. When I was capping it, I remember betting an over with the Mets on their first night in LA, and that game ended 0-2. So I'm now officially just not trusting the Mets on first games of road trips. I don't fade the Mets very often. I really don't. And Urquidy kept me from getting Houston on the first 5 because I'm choosing to side with the bats and the offense. And I looked up the injury report, and Alvarez, I think, is playing tonight. I know there were some talks about that, but it's not even more a fate of the Mets as it is Houston coming off a really nice series where they took 2 out of 3 with the White Sox, I believe. And it's a team that I know can bounce back, and I don't necessarily think that Urquidy's numbers really tell the whole story. They haven't been great, and his advanced FIPS and xERAs are a little high. More, I was looking, his are around a 4 or 5, and usually you want to be around like a 2 or 3. So it's still inexcusable, but it's a quick 2-game series, I think, right, Terry? With the Mets here.
I'm not sure. I didn't look.
Okay.
I know they face each other today.
Okay. So I don't expect Houston to just sweep them out. So, but I'll pick them tonight. I'll back Houston Astros on the money line, seeing minus 128. I took them in a parlay as well, really only because of the performance in LA. I mean, the only reason why. I mean, that's a good reason, and cappers look at that or they don't look at that. But when I saw the Mets, how bad they played with that first night in LA, I just thought, hey, maybe there's a trend going on. They fly out west, and team home just sitting waiting. Got a good scouting report on a guy who hasn't pitched maybe as much as some of the others. I'll take a shot with Houston. Cubano had asked about strikeout props. I would honestly look at Urquidy's. I think they're at 4.5, maybe some books. I also look at Gonsolin's. I mean, some of the people we've been talking about here, games Terry's picked. I mean, but I'm going player props after I bet like the main slate for today. But yeah, Terry, do you have any more thoughts on this game? Like what?
No, I don't. I don't have any strikeout props. I'm kind of lowering it down, more focusing on the sides and stuff. less so in props for now. But we'll move on to the fifth game before we get to last pitch here. The Cardinals, minus 135, are in Milwaukee facing the Brewers, plus 115, a total of 9. The lines were much different in this game yesterday, as the Brewers were a big favorite and the Cardinals were big underdogs. And now the Cardinals are favorites here, slight underdogs for the Brewers. And that's because of the pitching matchup here. Chichi Gonzalez will be making his first start here for the Brewers. Jack Flaherty, his second start of the season here for the Cardinals. It's Chichi Gonzalez. That's not really. There's not really much else that needs to be said. He in his career is 9-23 with a 5.69 ERA. This year he's pitched in 2 games against Tampa and Toronto. Went 4 innings against Tampa, 8 hits, 3 earned runs. Against Toronto, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs. So he's not really pitching a whole lot, but he's giving up 3 earned runs at least. And now he's going to face this Cardinals team with one of their aces on the mound. I know, obviously, he's coming off an injury, but he is one of their best pitchers, one of my favorite pitchers to back. And I'm going to back him here in his second start, fading Chichi Gonzalez. Cardinals team total over 4.5 at minus 125, and Cardinals full game money line I got at minus 130. I love both of those plays. I really like for the Cardinals to get the win here against the Brewers. Occupancy, Cardinals and Brewers. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, these are 2 pitchers that I chose to just listen to folks about. Wasn't as watching as much baseball when Flaherty was pitching. I heard he was a guy from St. Louis that people like to back. In his I think smaller sample size maybe of pitches with him over there, Flaherty. He's back against his team. Yeah, new pitcher, Chichi Gonzalez, or not new pitcher, but wait, Terry, did he just get traded or no? Am I making that up?
I think they picked him up because I think the Minnesota sent him down because they didn't want him on their roster because of how many runs he gives up.
Yeah,
and then Milwaukee decided that they were desperate enough. They needed a pitcher, and they picked him up.
Yeah. It kind of has like Jonah Don situation written all over it. I would have to leave him in St. Louis here. I mean, it's not even a bad price, honestly, for them. Full game, first 5. That seems to be the right side here. And let's see, what St. Louis did on the last couple outings. They won 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 with the Red Sox, and then just lost this Brewers team last night. But before that, they did pretty well against the Pirates, and then the Reds. So yeah, I mean, Cardinals. Yeah, I'd be good with going to their side and put them in a parlay or take another unit out and lay it over with them. So yeah,
should look good for them. Yeah. We'll jump in a last pitch here. I'll kind of run through the rest of the games that we did not go over. Colorado, Miami. Feltner against Castano. No real opinion here. Rockies are good against lefties. Miami Marlins are good against righties. So you could expect some runs, but I don't really like the pitching matchup here. So didn't get to that game. Nationals, Orioles. Eric Fetty on the mound with his 4.88 ERA. Lyles on the mound for Baltimore with his 5.10 ERA. Baltimore is 11th in OPS in the month of June. Washington is 13th in OPS in the month of June. Both these teams are hitting a lot, and I'm on the over 9.5, which I got at minus 106 for Washington and Baltimore. I see a lot of runs in that game. And then that is all my single plays for the games that we didn't go over. I'm passing Cubs and Pirates, passing Tigers, Red Sox, Yankees and Rays, Cortez against Beeks. I do like the Yankees. They are in one of my parlays, which I'll give out here shortly. But I decided not to tackle anything on them singly. Phillies in Texas, Phillies and Rangers. Gibson against Perez. I want to back Perez, but he's starting to come back down to earth after his great start. And this Phillies team is hot right now. So it's ultimately a pass. A lean with Texas first 5 money line, but I'm not going to get to it. KC against Angels, no opinion. And no opinion in the other 2 games, Arizona, San Diego, or Seattle, Oakland. Lean with San Diego, but I don't really want to take them right now without Machado in the lineup. And then, of course, Toronto and the White Sox. Of course, I have to talk about that. Kevin Gausman against Dylan Cease. Gausman has been on a losing streak and has not been pitching very well. Cease on the other side hasn't allowed a earned run in his last 3 games. But if you look at it a little bit further, Dylan Cease at home, he's 2-2 with a 3.86 ERA, so not bad. On the road, he's 3-1 with a 1.76 ERA, so he's much better on the road. During the day, he's 3-2 with a 1.43 ERA, but at night he's 2-1 with a 7.13 ERA. So he's kind of better on the road, and he's kind of better during the day. But he's at home at night facing the Blue Jays, who tried to come back yesterday, weren't able to. Ultimately, I didn't get to anything in the game. I didn't bet anything, which is kind of mostly true. I didn't bet anything singly. They're in one of my parlays, which I'll get to here shortly after occupancy goes over last pitch. But I could see this going either way. But I do think Cease will give up some runs. I know he hasn't in his last 3 games, but he will give up some runs in this game. And of course, I'm cheering for the Blue Jays, but whether or not they win is to be determined. Occupancy, what do you think here in last pitch?
Yeah. I ended up with Colorado Rockies. Thought it's pretty surprising to the out of town scores to see a couple wins versus San Diego. So yeah, so went with Colorado. I ended up as well on Pittsburgh. Contreras was a bet on pitcher for me, and then I walked away from him last week, and I missed out on cash. So I'm back there. Yeah, I saw something in the chat about the Red Sox game. Yeah, minus 200 for Rich Hill at home is interesting price point for me. I would like to back Boston. I'm just not sure how to get in, so I'd probably have to like live bet a team total. There's probably a 4.5 or something, and then maybe a slow start, and then get a Boston team total. For sure, Brisky has been an interesting guy on the other side of the mound. I bet him a couple games, and I don't think he's part of this like core like they got like first rounders and stuff. But he's definitely been up and down. And Hills looked okay. I was on the other side his last start with Blackburn, but I could expect to bounce back. I mean, good pitcher over the years, guy at home. So yeah, I'd be looking towards the Boston side with that one. Yeah, not a whole lot left on the card for me. I'm gonna look to back Perez at home against Texas. I think it's from a spot scheduling perspective. Philly doing some traveling, and Perez with that rough start and now bouncing back. I think that's a pretty good price for Texas on the money line, first 5 money line at home. Kansas and LA. Kansas, not really looking to bet them right now. And LA, yeah, it just did pretty well against Seattle. So LA is maybe turning it around a bit and get some wins there. Gonzalez, Caprillion. I am looking to bet Seattle on the run line, team total over, money line, first five. Um, Live total right now is at 8.5. Marco Gonzalez bounced back from a pretty bad outing and 6 walks 2 starts ago. So Oakland, it's hot out here in the Bay today. I think I was seeing 80 plus Fahrenheit. So I think some offensive weather. So I would actually be looking towards an over here. That might be a play that I make official. Try to get an over 8 live or over 7. Um, and the last game on the slate, I supposed to bet on Gallon every time he pitches, no matter what team he plays, no matter what spot. Like in the beginning of the year, I was asking around for some bet on pitchers, and a couple names came up, and I kind of been keeping my eye out for these people, and Zach Allen's one of them. So um, the issue is that I didn't want San Diego to get swept, and I think they could bounce back even without Manny. So I wasn't rushing to bet Gallon tonight. That's why I didn't end up getting it into the bet slip yet. I did look at it. It was like that or Colorado for me for a dog. And that's why I ultimately chose not to go with Arizona. But that would be a way if you did want to back down. You could probably get there like plus half a run in the first 5 too. And then the under is essentially an interesting look because Manai on the other side is a good pitcher, and I didn't really want to go against him either at home. So it'll be a cool game. Like I don't know, that'd be a fun one to watch. Like nights winding down, some other bets cash or didn't cash, and then you get this one to come into. Maybe look for some live team totals or props. Could be cool in this game as well. I'll make a note of that and get to props in that one. That'd be a good one maybe. So yeah, that's not much else for me, Terry.
Perfect. I will jump into my 3 parlays before we get to the best bet segment. Parlay number 1, the Dodgers money line parlayed with Atlanta money line plus 149. Parlay number 2, and actually, sorry, that is incorrect. Let me fix that. Go. Dodgers first 5 money line parlayed with the Yankees first 5 money line plus 158. And number 3, I took the Dodgers, Atlanta, Minnesota, Toronto, the Mets, and St. Louis. So a 6-teamer there. All team total over 2.5. So I took those 6 teams: Dodgers, Atlanta, Minnesota, Toronto, Mets, and St. Louis. All of their team totals over 2.5 full game plus 325. I'm expecting all 6 of them to get 3 or more runs. So that is my parlay there. Kind of my 4 fun quarter unit, so small play obviously, but my little fun parlay for the end of the night. And we'll head to best bets segments, and we'll start with dog of the day as we always do. Let me get it here. For me, my dog of the day is the New York Mets. Nick is taking the Cleveland Guardians. Tim is going to college baseball and taking Auburn. Bryant is also going with the New York Mets. Occupancy, you're taking the Colorado Rockies. Manny is going to Milwaukee Brewers. And Jake is taking the Chicago White Sox as his dog of the day. Over or under. For me, I went back and forth. There's like 3 totals that I'm on. But my biggest bet was on St. Louis, team total over 4.5. So I chose that one as my over-under. Nick is going St. Louis, Milwaukee over 9, full game. Tim is going to the WNBA and taking Atlanta and Dallas over 163.5 points. Bryant taking the Philadelphia Phillies, team total over 3.5. Occupancy, you're going Dodgers, Cincinnati under 9.5. Jake is going Dodgers Cincinnati over 9.5. So you guys are going head to head there on that one. And then Manny is going Toronto Chicago White Sox under 9. Best bets, best parlay pieces. For me, I'm going with my 2-team parlay there. The Dodgers money line parlayed with Atlanta money line plus 149. My best parlay piece, Dodgers first 5 money line. Nick, best bet, Pittsburgh Pirates on the run line plus 145. Best parlay piece, Pittsburgh Pirates money line. Tim is going Auburn money line as his best bet from college baseball. Pittsburgh Pirates money line as his parlay piece. Bryant is going a 2-team parlay. He's taking Atlanta first 5 run line minus a half, parlayed with St. Louis first 5 team total over 2.5 for plus 230. Pittsburgh Pirates team total over 3.5 as his parlay piece. Occupancy, you're going Dodgers minus 1 in the first 5, parlayed with Colorado minus 1 in the first 5 and Houston minus 1 in the first 5 for plus 1,345. So you're going all in here, hoping for a nice cash and taking the Dodgers money line as your parlay piece. Manny, he's taking Angels, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and Milwaukee. He's taking Angels, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta all on the money line, and then Milwaukee plus 1.5 for plus 619. Atlanta Braves first 5 money line as his parlay piece. Jake is taking Houston Astros full game money line as his best bet, and Atlanta Braves first 5 money line as his parlay piece. Occupancies, there was something you wanted to say there?
No, just looking at the board. A couple people seeing same things, same way. It's usually a good sign. So hopefully a big cash night for us.
Exactly. And that is the show. Best luck to everybody tonight. If you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. We'd love to have you in the live chat. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. And if you like the content, smash the like button. Going to start doing some free pick videos the night before for afternoon games. So we'll be able to give you some more content. So check the YouTube channel for those videos. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. Best of luck tonight, guys, and have a good one.